breaking news this midday. Tennessee State Representative G.A. Hardaway of Memphis has died. The 71-year-old was a popular advocate and outspoken leader for the Tennessee Democratic Party. Hardaway dedicated his life to state-level politics and championing public safety legislation. He started his storied career as a representative back in 2007. Now, he did intend to run in the 2026 election. Right now, we do not know how he died. G.A. Hardaway leaves behind 3 children. And we just spoke with a community activist in the area that Hardaway represents, and here's what he had to say.
He was always unapologetic in his commitment and advocacy for those underprivileged and underserved in Memphis and Shelby County. But he also knew how to have an honest and forthright conversation with people across the aisle in ways that didn't compromise his integrity or who he was. And so
Tennessee Governor Bill Lee posting on X saying, "Maria and I are deeply saddened by the death of Representative G.A. Hardaway, a friend and dedicated public servant who faithfully represented Memphis in the General Assembly for nearly 20 years. We pray God's comfort and blessing over his family." The Tennessee Democratic Party sent out a statement saying Representative Hardaway was a dedicated public servant and steadfast advocate for the people of House District 93, saying he led with heart, treated everyone with dignity, and never lost sight of who he was fighting for.